Hello and welcome to the Analog Toys live stream. Welcome back if you've been here before, or welcome if it's your first time. We've got a really fun show today, and this is often a hot topic of discussion, and that is not the best Batman, but what we're specifically going to look at today is the best movie Batman, so all the different actors and all that kind of thing. I ran a poll on Patreon, so the patrons know kind of how those votes ended up. I was actually quite surprised with some of the results there. So I'm going to reveal the results of that Patreon poll a little bit later on in the show. What I'd like to do first is just say hello to a few of the people in the chat. So we got Michael Schaefer, who I was just speaking to. He's behind the scenes helping me out as always. Gary's Action Man channel, Keith Knight, Chris Miwa, great to see you here. I know it's late there. I've got a massive box here from you, Chris, so we'll be opening that towards the end of the show. Daniel Dorian, I've got a package here from you as well. Jeff72, Kieran Ball, George Aitken, good evening. Darth Knight, Mark Gordon, Gojatron, how are you? Jim Largo. Couple of announcements before we get into it. The first of which is I want to send a huge message of congratulations to my friends Dante, Ryan, Bobby, and Alex at the Infinity Equation podcast. I watched some of their live show on Friday when it was live. I watched about half of it. I was sitting down this morning to kind of watch the second half, and I noticed that they were at like 993 subscribers. I know their goal was to get to 1,000 this year. I kept saying we would get them to 1,000 before Iconicon. And I'd actually sent Ryan Farnham an Instagram message saying, hey, not far away. I can feel it coming soon. And then literally in the next 30 minutes, they hit 1,000 subscribers. So massive congratulations, guys. You do really have the best YouTube podcast for discussion about, modern action figure news. I watch all your shows. I don't get to watch them all live because I'm often working. But really, really pleased that you've reached 1,000 subscribers. You can now monetize your channel, and I'm looking forward to sending you a super chat on the next show to show my support for all the great entertainment you have offered. So that was the first announcement. The Keith Holmesley, good to see you. I didn't think you'd be missing this stream, mate. The second announcement is that this weekend, Redbubble is having a huge sale on all of their stores. You'll find a link in the description of this video to the Iconicon Redbubble store, where you can order your amazing Iconicon t-shirts. Let me get that. With some beautiful artwork done by Dave Song, who's done a lot of artwork for both my channel and the Retroblasting channel. There's a huge sale on Redbubble this weekend. So if you want to get an Iconicon shirt or mug or any other merch, to join in with the fun of Iconicon, this weekend is the time to do it. As soon as you go over to the page, you'll see a promo code and you can get your Iconicon merch at a massive discount this weekend. I'm assuming, because it's Sunday in the States, I'm assuming it's ending sometime tonight. So, World Made of Cardboard, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, so if it is movie Batman, I can't go, no, Batman. I can't believe my phone actually autofilled Batman at the end of that. That's awesome. Well, obviously the Adam West interpretation of Batman is included in the list because they did have a movie that was released in theaters. So, what we're specifically talking about is movie Batmans. Someone did mention, I'm going to forget his name now. Someone did mention, I think maybe on Facebook, like Lewis Wilson, but that was the old black and white Batman was a serial. It wasn't actually a movie. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So I'm just going to quickly read out from the Patreon poll the different actors that I included in the poll. So we've got Adam West, Michael Keaton, Kevin Conroy, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson. And what we're going to discuss today is who we all think is the best movie Batman. So that does include Kevin Conroy, obviously the voice actor from Batman the Animated Series, but there was also, I think, 2 movies produced kind of under that production. Kevin Thomas says, Tony, I can't stay for the show, but my picks would be Adam West, the Super Friends version, but I also really dig Keaton too. Yep, I really dig Keaton. 1989, that summer was, I'd moved to Australia in late 1988. And before my first year in Australia, I had the absolute pleasure of going to see Batman 1989 in the movie theatre, I think 4 times, because I went for my birthday, and then I had a circle of friends in primary school who we all had birthdays within like the space of about 6 weeks. And every different one of my friends, when it was their birthday, their parents took us all to the movies. So I think at that point, I'd only ever been to the cinema once before. And then I got to see Batman 1989 like 4 or 5 times in the cinema that summer. Salvador, my dear friend, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, just sending love your way, mate. If we're talking exclusively live action Batman film, I'm picking Keaton. But if it's any Batman, Kevin Conroy every day and twice on Sunday. Also, congrats to the Infinity Equation on hitting 1,000 subscribers tonight. Thanks, Sal. Yes, Kevin Conroy is definitely in this conversation. It's not live action Batman. It's just movie Batman. So I suppose let's go chronologically. Let's talk a little bit about Adam West. Obviously, I was introduced to Adam West as a child. He was my original kind of live action Batman. And that's because even though the show was aired in the 1960s, growing up in the UK in the early 80s, it was always played in reruns. So he was my live action Batman when I was a kid. I watched more of that than I ever did, I suppose, Super Friends. But I really think the earlier episodes, the first season, is by far the best. It's always been a campy show, but I think Batman, the movie, the Adam West movie, is one of my least favorite entries in that kind of era of Batman. So, yeah, as a child, Adam West was my live action Batman, but I preferred the TV series over the movie. I saw a question before that I wanted to comment on. I think I've missed it. George Aitken says Lego Batman is the funniest. Yeah, I actually forgot to put Will Arnett on the poll, but as you'll see here, I've got Batman the Lego Movie, the DVD here on the table. I was convinced that I had on DVD the Tim Burton Batman movies, the Val Kilmer, the George Clooney. I was convinced I had all 4 of those films on DVD. Could not find them anywhere when I was setting up the table, but I did know that I've got a Blu-ray copy of Batman 1989. I don't have a lot of Blu-rays, but that was one film I did want to get on Blu-ray when I... although having said that, Grace is asking me what I want for my birthday. She got me some AirPods already, even though it's my birthday, not for like another 5-6 weeks. But I actually think I might get her to get me a Blu-ray player and a few Blu-rays, because I've really since getting Band of Brothers, I've really enjoyed sitting down and watching Blu-rays again. I want to get back into collecting physical media. Duke VFS, which is my good friend Joseph. Good to see you here, Joseph. Anyone seen the 1943 15-chapter Batman series? I watched it a long time ago, Joseph. A long time ago. I haven't revisited that. I didn't revisit any of the movies in preparation for this live stream, but obviously beyond Batman, Batman the movie from the 60s, the next movie Batman that we got was Michael Keaton in 1989, who was a very controversial casting choice at the time. But I mean, the Batman movies in general seem to have a lot of controversial casting choices, most of which turn out well. The movies aren't always great. Batman versus Superman, for example, but there was a lot of controversy around Ben Affleck. I actually think Ben Affleck did an incredible job with his performance. I thought I was pleasantly surprised when I saw the screen interpretation. It wasn't a great movie, but that's not his fault. Sometimes scripts and directors fail movies, but I thought Ben Affleck did a perfectly good job. But Michael Keaton, at the time, I was not aware of any of this controversy. I was a lot younger. I would have been, 11 going on 12 when that movie came out. And I absolutely fell in love with the film. I really wanted to start collecting the toys, but the summer of 1989 is the summer that I turned 12, and that was around the age when I kind of stopped playing with toys. And I think for that birthday, I got the Cobra Mamba from the G.I. Joe line, which would have been probably the last toy that my parents ever bought me for a birthday or Christmas. And I think the reason I got that and not some Batman toys is probably because I had asked for it sometime before I actually watched the movie. I don't remember what month that Batman 1989 came out in the cinemas in Australia, but it was during the month of June, that like late May, early June, I'm pretty sure, that I was going to watch it in the cinema. It may have even been a little bit later than that. Jim Largo, thank you very much for the kind super chat. He says, cheers, Tony. Mask of Phantasm Batman was closest to the comics, but Batman 1989 has the best Batmobile. Yeah, I'll agree with you on the Batmobile, 100%. The Mask of Phantasm, I actually didn't watch until a couple of years ago. It was the first time I watched The Mask of Phantasm, but I really, really enjoyed that. I've got that on DVD somewhere. Laser Pants, Ryan, congratulations, man. Congratulations on the 1,000 subs on Infinity Equation. He says Michael Keaton was a great Batman, and he was a very odd choice for Batman. I think to audiences, he was obviously a very, very odd choice, but he had a great working relationship with Tim Burton. He was, I imagine, I don't know if Tim Burton's ever come out and said this. I don't know. I imagine he probably has, but I think Tim Burton probably always had Michael Keaton in mind when he was getting ready to make that film. And I think, yes, he was an odd choice, but a perfect choice all the same. I thought Michael Keaton was fantastic. Joe Dubecki says, I had the pleasure of meeting Adam West and Burt Ward in costume with a Batmobile for autographs in the mid. Wow, that's awesome. That's a treasured memory for sure. Tree Theodore, thank you very much for the kind super chat with no comment. If you accidentally hit send before writing your comment, I'll be sure to get your comment up on the screen afterwards. So with Michael Keaton, obviously he appeared in 2 Batman movies, obviously the original Batman and then the aptly titled Batman Returns. I prefer Batman Returns as a film. I think that's one of the best Batman films ever made. Maybe not the best. I'm not going to reveal my pick of the best movie Batman until later on. But I thought Batman Returns was a far better film than the 1989 version. And then, of course, we get into Val Kilmer territory. So I'm not sure what everyone here thinks of Val Kilmer. I personally like Val Kilmer as an actor. I didn't think that Batman Forever wasn't. Yeah, Batman. I didn't think Batman Forever was a terrible film. I really thought and I'm a huge Tommy Lee Jones fan. I really didn't think that that Tommy Lee Jones was good in that. He it's quite surprising to watch a film with Jim Carrey in it and find that there's another actor who's gone more over the top, if that makes sense. Keith Holmesley says, Tony, did you know Keaton is set to reprise his Burton Batman in the upcoming Flash movie, and he's wanting a Batman Beyond movie after that? I did not know that. Wow. I'll have to check that out for sure. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I really wished we had have got a trilogy of Burton Keaton Batman films back in the day. I really wish we had have got that. It's a shame that we only got the two films, because I think if Burton and Keaton had have returned, we may have got a lot more Batman films through the 90s before Joe Schumacher just crapped all over everything, didn't they? George Aitken saying the only thing he remembers about that movie was the soundtrack. Are you talking the 1989 Batman? I remember that film very, very well. I will go out on a limb and say that I don't think Jack Nicholson is the best Joker. I think his performance was very, very good, but there's a number of other actors who I think have done better Jokers. Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill. They're higher up the order of best screen Jokers for me. Okay, Jordan. No, the Val Kilmer one. Okay, that's weird because I don't remember the soundtrack. Was that the U2 one? Yeah, was that the U2 soundtrack where they did a? I don't know if they did the full soundtrack, but they did a song for it. Yeah. Chris Miwa says it would be nice to do a favourite Alfred in the future. Well, that's Michael Caine for me, simply because I just love Michael Caine. He was in Zulu. Like, how can he not be the best? Gary's Action Man channel says Mark Hamill should have a shot at a big screen Joker role. I would love to see that. He probably should have been given that opportunity maybe 10 years ago, but I still think he could pull it off. I still think he could. That would be awesome. Yes, Kiss from a Rose. That's it, George. Kiss from a Rose. That's not a U2 song, is it? Hold Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, Thrill Me, I think I'm talking about. I'm getting confused with which movie soundtrack's which. Sunny Frisch says Keaton equals Batman, Birdman, Vulture. Definitely not scared of heights. Yeah, I wonder if the actor actually is. Wouldn't that be funny if the actor actually is scared of heights? So, Jesse Gerardo says Bruce Campbell was a Joker. I would like to see that. Yeah, that's right, Seal. Yeah, Kiss from a Rose was Seal, but I'm sure U2, they must have done a song for the next movie, was it? I don't know. What am I thinking about? I've got to Google this. Let's Google this. U2 Batman song. Yeah. U2 did Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. Cesar Romero also hid his moustache better than Henry Cavill. Yes. The traditional practical effects are often better than CGI. Just a little bit of white paint over your moustache hides it a lot better. I never, ever noticed that until, when I first read about it on the internet like 10 years ago. I never noticed that when I was a kid. But obviously, we didn't have such, such high quality definition in our TVs. But, when I was younger, I never noticed that he had a painted over moustache, Cesar Romero. Johnny Sorensen once saw Michael Caine holding a jewel the size of a tangerine. I love the way Michael Caine delivers his lines in those films. Yes, Michael Johnson, shout out for the late, great Anton First design for the Batman 1989. But I've got a carded die-cast Batmobile around the same size as this one here, which was very kindly donated to the channel by Keith Holmesley, along with this 1-to-1 scale awesome Batarang. It might be NECA. This is one NECA toy that they've actually done a pretty good job on. I've got a carded 1989 Batmobile that I wanted to put on the table. But even when I put it into a like a display stand, because the Batmobile's die cast is quite heavy, keeps falling over. So I wasn't able to put it on the table today. Wolfie762, he got the 4K of Forever just to see Nicole Kidman's moustache. I don't think I would ever get that movie on 4K or Blu-ray, to be honest. Now we're getting into, obviously, George Clooney territory. I've often said that you can't always blame actors for bad films. And I'm not saying that you can blame George Clooney, but I don't think, even with a good director and a better script, I personally don't think George Clooney was the correct casting for Batman. Yeah, not for me. Also, Alicia Silverstone was terrible in that. Brian Dillingham, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, can't stay, have a good show. Thank you, Brian. Much, much appreciated. Also, for the patrons, did I already mention that I'm not doing an after show today? I know I was talking to Michael Schaefer before. I'm confused now. I'm not going to do a Patreon-only after show today because at 8:30 US Eastern Standard Time, my good friend Bobby Valor over on the Valorverse YouTube channel is running a live stream for he's showing some product samples of Action Force, and I really, really want to watch that. But what I am going to do in trade for that for the patrons is we're going to have a Patreon-only live stream at the same time tomorrow night. So 6:30 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to do a live stream from the collection room, and I'm just going to have a live kind of Q&A chat with the patrons. Feel free to, if you want to have a close-up look at different toys in my collection, I'll be able to walk around and pick some toys off the shelf for you and that kind of thing. So for patrons of the channel, and if you're not a patron of the channel, links in the description of the video. There's a whole number of different tiers, but the $1 a month tier gets you access to the Patreon-only live streams. Scott Hughes, I've never seen the Clooney Batman in its entirety. I couldn't take more than 10 minutes at a time. I have. I've watched it more than once, I think, because it's been on TV one time, and I've just kind of had it playing in the background. But it is a bad film. I think the less said about it, the better. Grenade 0013, random question. Tony, do you use a chin-up bar? Props for keeping fit. No. I don't exercise anywhere near as much as I should, and I am not in anywhere near as good a shape as I should be. I think the way I sit down for the live streams and the videos, I often wear black because it really masks my beer gut. I was an incredibly fit, athletic person at one time in my life when I was in the Special Forces, but I've really let myself go in the past few years, and I don't give a toss. So, Dwayne, that's what I was laughing at. Dwayne said, Tony rolls tires like a Affleck. Yeah. Daniel James says Westall Keaton. Yeah, you'll be interested to see the results of the Patreon. I was going to actually run a poll on YouTube as well, but YouTube would only give me like 4 options, and obviously I needed a lot more. So Keith Knight says Tony has a different kind of a bar for keeping fit, like most of us old servants of the crown. Yes. I want to have a drinking buddy named Jim, so I can just keep telling Grace I'm going to the gym, and I'll just go around to my friend Jim's house and have a beer. But no. So we've, I'm not sure where we are in the chronology, but I think I might have skipped over Kevin Conroy by this point. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. As I said, not only the Mask of Phantasm, but Batman the Animated Series is something that I did not visit until, I would say, 3 or 4 years ago. And I sat down to watch it to kind of educate myself as part of the channel, and absolutely fell in love with Batman the Animated Series, with Kevin Conroy's performance, with Mark Hamill's performance. What an incredible piece of work. I'm a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series and the voice actors who performed in those episodes and those 2 movies as well. Mvargo97 says, Batman the Animated Series was my introduction to Batman, so Conroy holds a special place for me. Yeah, quite similar. My introduction to Batman was with the Adam West TV show, which is why he will always hold a special place in my heart as well. Kevin Conroy certainly did not introduce me to Batman. As I just said, I only kind of stepped into that world about 3 or 4 years ago, and I wish I had done it sooner. I really do. I think maybe for me at the time there was so many animated kind of superhero properties around, not all of which were great. I couldn't kind of navigate my way through and figure out what was the ones worth watching. This was in the kind of pre-internet days, I suppose. Scott Hughes says, Tony, do you have the Remco Powerized Batman? It was part of Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, Superman, and Batman Powerized series. They were 10 to 12-inch scale. Scott, I know exactly what you're talking about. The only one of those that I have in my collection is Spider-Man, and I have him in a really nice box. I would love to get an Incredible Hulk. Personally, I think if you were to ask me my favorite superheroes, from DC, it's Batman, and from Marvel, it's the Incredible Hulk. And that dates my fascination with the Incredible Hulk dates back to being a child when I, was an avid watcher of the Bill Bixby TV show. And my Incredible Hulk collection is actually growing at the moment. Sal sent me some stuff, and recently got one of the Marvel Retro Collection figures as well, with a beautiful card back. George Aitkins says, Conroy played Batman in the Batwoman series. They really did him a disservice. Is that the Batwoman animated series or not? That I never brought myself to watch that horrible piece of junk with that Australian actress in it, whatever that was. Tony, did you see the Justice League movie where most of the Justice League go back in time to World War II? No, I haven't seen that one, Jesse. I put myself through the pain of watching the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League recently, only because it was released in Australia on a new streaming service, and they were offering subscribers like a 14-day free trial. So I thought I can watch it for free. I watched it basically an hour a night over 4 nights, and I thought it was terrible. But I'm not a Zack Snyder fan, so I don't think I was ever going to like that. But running a YouTube channel, which obviously is predominantly about toys, but also about pop culture, I do like to keep myself educated about certain things. So, all right, where are we up to now? So now we're up to Batman Begins and the Christian Bale era. And I remember, excuse me, my phone's going crazy here, just checking. All good, not important. I remember this film. I was living in the UK in the early 2000s. What year did this come out? What year was Batman Begins? Got to Google that. Um, 2005. Yeah, so in 2005, for that, like I was living back in the UK from 2001 to sort of 2011, and during that time, I was a huge physical media collector. I had a local, I think it was a Virgin Megastore, not far from where I lived, and I would go in there a couple of times a week and would pick up DVDs. And but also at the time, I was in the Special Forces Reserve, and I was reading a lot of Empire magazines, which is an excellent movie publication from the UK. I would buy those magazines monthly, would read them cover to cover religiously. And I never remember hearing anything about Batman Begins. Its cinematic release went straight past me. And the first time I experienced it was on DVD. And I think perhaps in 2005, I had probably gone away somewhere with the military. I don't remember exactly, which is why I maybe had kind of skipped over that period. But I remember finding this on DVD, Batman Begins, coming home and watching it, not expecting a lot. I had not seen any of the fanfare leading up to it. And at the end of that film going, holy shit, what an awesome movie. I was really, really impressed with Batman Begins, really impressed. I do like Christian Bale as Batman. I really do. I like Michael Caine as Alfred. I like that Batmobile. It's not my favorite, but I do like it. Doug Wanacott, yes, a long time ago, I saw the old Batman serials from the 40s. When I was a kid growing up in England in the early 80s, I would watch a lot of old black and white Tarzan, Zorro, black and white Batman and Superman was aired on TV a lot. So I watched a lot of that, but I watched that when I was a very young child. So I don't remember a lot of it, and I'm probably not going to revisit a lot of that. Jess J. Bell says, I think Batman Begins is my personal favorite. It's certainly my favorite from the Nolan trilogy. Batman Begins is my favorite of the Nolan trilogy. Very closely followed by, obviously, The Dark Knight Rises. Here's a... yes, George, Morgan Freeman was good in it. I think most of the actors were good in it. Let's talk about The Dark Knight Rises for a moment, because Heath Ledger is very close to me in age. I think he, if he was still around today, he would only be, I think he's like 2 years younger than me. And he went to a high school very near to where I went to high school as a kid. And funny story, our schools had an inter-school carnival, and this is obviously before he was famous or anything like that. But I often wonder, were we both at that school carnival on the same day? And there are those kind of celebrity deaths in life that really do. I don't know if that affect you is the right word, but I remember growing up as a kid, and my parents' generation would often say, everyone remembers where they were when JFK was shot. Certainly, I feel my generation, I certainly remember where I was when Princess Diana died. But I also very, very clearly remember where I was when I heard the news of Heath Ledger passing away. And I was in an Irish bar in Dubai airport on my way back from Iraq. And I was it's one of the few celebrity deaths that has really, really affected me. I had just returned from 10 weeks in Iraq. I'd flown out of Iraq to Dubai. I was transiting through, I had several hours in Dubai, and I was sitting in this Irish pub, which I would do every time, and just smoke cigarettes and drink beer on my way back to Australia or Thailand or wherever I was going. And I heard the news on the TV, and I was absolutely devastated because, he was a local Western Australian Perth-raised boy. He was very similar in age. And if any of you out there, if you don't already know of a band called Eskimo Joe is a band from Fremantle in Western Australia, which is an old port town just south of Perth. They released a single which actually became the title of an album called Foreign Land. I think it's Foreign Land. Let me get this 100% correct. Eskimo Joe, Foreign Land. I've been a fan of Eskimo Joe for a long time again, because they're a Perth-based band, and I particularly liked the song Foreign Land, and for some I could relate to it because at the time that it was popular in the charts, Foreign Land, I was living and working in Iraq, and it was sometime later that I learned that song, the lyrics for that song, are actually based on when the lead singer of Eskimo Joe, I think he was walking around New York City. He's an Australian in this foreign land, and he heard the news of Heath Ledger's death. That song is actually about the passing of Heath Ledger. If you didn't know that before, and you go back and listen to the song again, it gives it a lot of other, gives the lyrics a whole new meaning. Sunny Frisch, thank you very much for the super chat. He says The Dark Knight Rises is the third Nolan. Sorry, Tony. Yeah, you look at that trilogy, and I take my favorites. It literally is. My first one's the favorite. The second one is my second favorite, and The Dark Knight Rises is my least favorite. Second with Ledger is just called The Dark Knight. Yeah. Yeah, The Dark Knight Rises. Yes, Eskimo Joe are a great band, Keith Knight. I particularly like Eskimo Joe. And yet, to anyone in the audience who does not know Eskimo Joe, and even if it's not your kind of music, after this live stream, go onto YouTube and type in Eskimo Joe Foreign Land and listen to that song with the knowledge that the songwriter wrote those lyrics after walking around New York City, hearing the news of Heath Ledger's death. Brendan Haley says, hi all, just tapping in for 5 minutes, has got a shower then, helping Chase with his morning routine. Adam West all the way, Heath, best Joker ever. Awesome to see you here, Brendan. No problem if you can't stop long, man. I hope everything's going well, and let's chat soon, mate. Chris Miwa says, watched I Am Heath, great documentary on his life with filmed bits. He filmed himself. He loved having a camera with him all the time. Yeah, very much so. Funny story. Every morning at work, I have to run a stand-up meeting with my team where I talk about what jobs they've got to do today and what safety considerations they need to study. And we had a team, what they call them the content and delivery team. They make video productions for the company. They traveled up from Perth to the site here, and they wanted to film one of these morning kind of routines. And someone had said to them that this guy, Tony, runs a pretty good meeting. I think maybe because I run it kind of military style, almost delivering a set of orders. But they came in a couple of mornings ago and they wanted to film this morning routine, and, would I be comfortable with it and all that? Yeah, no problem. They sat in the corner filming it. And they spoke to me afterwards and they said, oh, you're very natural on the camera. A lot of people tend to get a little bit nervous when a camera's there. And I never had the heart to tell them that I've been on YouTube for almost 5 years. So being in front of a camera, has not bothered me for a long time now. So, I'm not wearing makeup, George. No way. Daniel Dorian, no, there is no Scuba Pete tonight. He messaged me beforehand. He's got to go out to a dinner, so he's going to watch this on the replay. But I asked him if he could have a bourbon for me, and he said he would have a few. So he's tucking into a nice meal out and a few bourbons, I think. Truck Shackley says, I use Heath's Joker quotes frequently, and here we go is one I use. It is, and I actually think I've used that short clip in more than one Analog Toys video. I've definitely used it in one. I think more than one. Yeah. Andrew Faulkner says, I personally think Heath Ledger was the iconic Joker we didn't know we needed. I think he embodies everything the character is meant to be. Joaquin Phoenix is a great Joker also, but his Joker was too serious. I think Joaquin's performance was a fantastic acting performance. It wasn't completely the Joker for me. Like I loved that film. But I'm not going to call it the best. For me, the best Joker is a toss-up between Mark Hamill and Heath Ledger. I think Heath Ledger edges it out for me as the best Joker. Timothy Ward says we should send Scuba Pete an Uber there. Yes, very much. Good to see you here, Timothy. I need my cup of tea. Doug Wanacott says, at Analog Toys, I always thought Frank Gorshin and Cesar Romero would have been better swapping roles in the Batman series. But I do love Romero still having this moustache under his face paint. Yeah, I'm a fan of Frank Gorshin's performance as Riddler as well, which is why I've got a few of the Batman villains on the table here. I've got a nice Mego Penguin as well. In the box isn't sealed, so I can take it out, but it was so far at the back of the cabinet, I was going to have to move so many other figures out of the way. I was like, no, I've got enough here. And this Batman here, this is from a Walmart. I think it's a Walmart exclusive. Does it say on there? The box is over there. It's an exclusive modern Mego re-release in a 3-pack that was very kindly donated to the channel recently. Apologies for not remembering who sent it. I'll be honest, guys. I always thought I'd be able to remember who kind of sent me what, and the amount of mail you guys are sending in lately is making it really, really hard to keep track of. We opened a lot of mail last week, and then I literally went to the post office. When did we do the stream last week? I did a stream on Monday. Was it Monday or Friday? I can't remember now. It's so confusing. Yeah, Monday. I did a Monday live stream. Went to the post office later that day and picked up 2 more boxes. And then as the week's gone on, I think I've got 5 parcels here to open. Kieran Ball says, Tony, I rewatched your Mego Iron Man restoration video earlier. Do you still have the hat? Yeah, I bought that hat when I was in Iraq. And I often wear it when I go out if me and Grace go out during the day to the races and things like that. It's very hot where I live. I'm bald. I burn the top of my head, and I always wear that hat. It's funny you watch that. That's one of the earlier videos on the channel, one of the least watched videos. That was back when I didn't have a good camera and bad audio and stuff like that. So, George Aitken, I think we should just send Chris some chocolates from now on. I ate the last 2 packets of Skips last night, George, just so you're aware. My son's actually, he's gone back to school this morning, but I actually had to pick him up from school about lunchtime last Tuesday because he was quite ill, and he ended up being ill up until around Saturday. So I think while he was at home alone, while me and Grace were working, he got stuck into the Frazzles and ate them all. Scott Hughes says, I preferred the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie when it was called Falling Down and starred Michael Douglas. Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. Oh, wow. Keith, thank you very much. So, Tony, I have a 1989 Batmobile headed your way to go with the Forever Batmobile. That's awesome. Thank you, Keith. I am a fan of the 1989 Batmobile. I've often wanted to get into collecting some of the 1989 Batman, to get the Batmobile with the Batwing and some of the figures. It's not a huge collection you've got to get to kind of complete. I would like to do that and one day do a like a toy review of 1989 Batman toys. Plockman040, yes, my son is much better now. He's going back to school today. He was kind of feeling better by about Saturday lunchtime. He was very upset. He plays soccer on a Friday, and we wouldn't let him play because he was still fairly ill on Friday, but he's much better now. And I'm also pleased whatever the lurgy was that he contracted did not get passed on to me and Grace. So, Kieran Ball says, it was the first Analog Toys video I ever saw and I subscribed straight away. Can't believe that was 5 years ago. Well, it was almost 5 years ago. Our 5th birthday is coming up in July, I think just after Iconicon. So, yeah. Rylan Tramp Pleasure. Please answer. Please answer what, mate? Have you got a question I've missed? I'm sorry. Yes, Gojatron. Bob the Goon was a huge peg warmer from the 89 line. That's right. All right, so we've discussed the Christian Bale, the Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale actor. So now that brings us to Ben Affleck. I was really not impressed when I first heard the casting news, but I was one of the few people who was really excited when I heard the news about Heath Ledger. You know, there was some controversy, not from everyone. There was some controversy, you know, people like Heath Ledger, like how in the hell did you land on that guy to play the Joker? But I was really excited. I had followed Heath Ledger's career for quite some time because he's a local Perth boy, you know. But yeah, I was not impressed when I heard the news of Ben Affleck, but I liked Ben Affleck's performance in Batman versus Superman. I didn't think he was too bad in Justice League, even though all those movies are terrible. I would like to see Ben Affleck in a standalone Batman movie with a much better director and a better script. But I don't know if we'll ever get that. Yes, George Aiken, Ben Affleck is also a very good Bruce Wayne. His Bruce was very believable. It was. And obviously we now have we have a trailer so far for The Batman, which I am not all that enthused about. It seems like Batman crossed with Seven, which the trailer makes it look like some kind of a serial killer movie, and that's if you want to make a serial killer, like I think Seven's a fantastic film. I've watched it numerous times. Don't mix that with Batman. I could be wrong. It could just be the way the trailer played out. But Ryland says, I wanted to say I love the Batman toys from 1989. They were so cool. Please answer, what do you think about them? I don't think they were all that great, to be honest. I love the packaging, you know, all the gold packaging and the logo. I think if you're a Mint in Box collector, it looks, and you had a collection of the box toys, it looks really, really good with all the, you know, the uniform packaging. I don't think the toys are that fantastic. I don't think they're terrible. They could have been a lot better, though. Yeah, so it does. Again, another controversial casting choice is Robert Pattinson as the Batman. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see. I really try not to judge movies too harshly on the trailer alone, even though I kind of did that with Snake Eyes, the origin movie. And it certainly doesn't look like it's a bad film. It just, I don't understand this obsession with Batman always being so damn dark. Like, yeah, have a shade of grey instead of complete black. Yes, Brendan Haley. Maybe it's just the trailer. The Justice League trailer looked great. It was a crappy film. The Batman, bad trailer, good film. Please, I want it to be a good film. I really do want it to be a good film because I want more Batman films. I don't think that director would miscast an actor. You know, there's obviously something he's seen in Robert Pattinson, and there are parts of the trailer that I like. The guy who plays Commissioner Gordon, Jeffrey, what's his damn name? Jeffrey Wright. I think Jeffrey Wright's a really, really good actor. I'm looking forward to what he does with the role of Commissioner Gordon. I don't think he can top Gary Oldman. I thought Gary Oldman was stunning. Gary Oldman is hands down the best Commissioner Gordon we've ever had. Sonny Frisch, thank you very much for the kind super chat. He says, Tony, did you experience the Cold Heart add-on from the Arkham Origins game? It might be worth looking into. I'm not a gamer, unfortunately. I've never played any of those Arkham games, never played a Batman game. I'm not a huge gamer whatsoever. All right, so I think we'll reveal the Patreon poll first, and then I'll kind of tell you my picks, although I'm still not 100% sure. I'm certain I could change my mind tomorrow. So the Patreon poll, there was quite a lot of votes. We had over, just trying to quickly kind of add that up there, 40, 60. We had over 80 votes on the Patreon poll, so quite a wide kind of polling area there. So the options on the poll were Adam West, Michael Keaton, Kevin Conroy, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson. And I know Laserpants didn't vote because George Clooney came last with 0. Just joking, Ryan. So George Clooney came last with 0 votes. Second last place is tied with Val Kilmer and Robert Pattinson getting 1 vote each. So someone voted for Robert Pattinson, even though we haven't seen the film yet, all based on the trailer. Interesting. Next one was Ben Affleck with only 3 votes. I thought he would have got a few more. Then in fourth place was Christian Bale with 13 votes. Third place was Kevin Conroy with 19 votes. Second place was Adam West with 20 votes. And Michael Keaton was the clear winner with 27 votes. And yeah, that really surprised me. I thought Christian Bale would have been higher because I think personally, for me, Keaton and Bale are number 1 and number 2. And I can't really decide the best for me, because I could say Keaton today and Bale tomorrow. I am a fan of the Christian Bale move. I was disappointed with The Dark Knight Rises, but Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are fantastic films. But yes, the patrons, the overwhelming vote, Keaton for the win. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to narrow it down now to what was the top 3? The top 4. So Adam West, Michael Keaton, Kevin Conroy, and Christian Bale. Let's see everyone in the chat. Before you vote, I'll give you a number each. So if you want to vote for Adam West, type 1 in the chat. If you want to vote for Michael Keaton, type 2 in the chat. If you want to vote for Kevin Conroy, type 3 in the chat. And if you want to vote for Christian Bale, type 4 in the chat. So drop those in the chat and we'll see what everyone here thinks. Laserpants, he picked Kevin Conroy. Good work. All right, we got a couple there for Adam West. Michael Schaefer is saying Kevin Conroy. Not too many 4s up there for Bale. Lots of 1s and 3s. Lots of Adam West and Kevin Conroy is actually surprising. Okay. A few of the 2s there for Kevin Keaton. Michael Keaton, Kevin Keaton. Medicine Man's World of Vintage says 2 with honorable mention to 4. Very good. All things 80s. Good to see you here. If I haven't already said hello, I get confused these days. Adam West didn't need fake muscles. He's all real Batman macho. Yes. Cool. Interesting to see. Everyone's got slightly different opinions. Nice one. All right. We've as I said, we've got quite a lot of mail to open today. I'll give this another plug. On Redbubble this weekend, you can get your Iconicon merch at a huge discount. Redbubble's got a big sale on. The link to the Iconicon Redbubble store is in the description of the video. So head over there. You can get mugs, t-shirts, get your merch so you can join in with the fun during Iconicon. All right, let's get the Mego Batmobile and Robin out of the way. Salvador's wearing his right now. Yeah, I was going to put it on, but I was like, it's a Batman stream. I've got to wear the Batman one. I've also got a really cool new T-shirt, which is a black T-shirt with the traditional G.I. Joe logo, and it's got the cover art for Dusty on it with the exploding background. Awesome. Just turned up the other day. Looking forward to wearing that in a video. Chris Miwa says, so I've got a gift box here from Chris Miwa. He says, the box is big because I double boxed the gift in it, mate. Okay, thank you very much, Chris. I think yours might be last, mate, because it's at the bottom, but I know it's getting late there. If you want me to open yours first, I'm more than happy to do so. Just let me know in the chat if you'd like me to open it first or if you want to wait. I didn't put them in any particular order. It just happens to be on the bottom. George Aitken says, Adam West hits so hard, captions appear when he hits you. That's right. Okay, and we've got... All right. Salvador says, I wish I could get Analog Toys RB and Iconicon T-shirts in Coyote Brown since that's the color I got to wear with my uniform. Yeah, that would be good. A lot of these stores, like the Iconicon store is on Redbubble. The Analog Toys merch store is on Teespring. They don't all offer all the colors you want, like Coyote Brown and stuff like that. Chris Miwa, okay, you're happy to wait. Such a good live stream. All right. Thanks, man. Okay, the first parcel we've got here, this is from Daniel Dorian, who I believe is in the chat. My parcel's the smallest surprise. Despite what the marketing team for that horrible Godzilla movie told you, size does not always matter. Okay, Daniel, we've got a note here. Plockman040. Oh, yeah, forgot, Tony. Thanks again very much for the photos. I'll keep them to myself and my dad unless you can say I can release the Zargon stuff. Well, the thing with releasing the Zargon stuff, it's not really my place to say. That would be Greg Hughes. But I'll put it to good use. Sorry, off Batman topic. All good. For those who don't understand what we're talking about there, Plockman040 asked me to send some profile shots of the Zargon prototype head, which I did. Took me a while to get around to it. I kept forgetting, but I finally did it last week. Okay, we have a note here. Whoops, which I just ripped. Sorry, Daniel. Hey, Tony, it's your fan, Daniel Dorian here. First of all, I apologize if you're a bit disappointed by the packaging. I know it's recommended that I use cardboard boxes for parcels as opposed to envelopes. I would have used a box, but unfortunately, I can only work with what I have. as this is the first time I've ever sent a parcel abroad. So I've made sure that the whole thing is well packaged. That's all good. It looks like it arrived in perfectly good condition. I'm hoping this parcel can get to you just before Iconicon. If it doesn't, oh well, shit happens due to COVID and everything. Why do I want this to arrive just before Iconicon, you might ask? Well, maybe this might give you a clue. Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what's in the parcel. This may sound corny, but I want to keep it a surprise. But I will say this, and I quote, with the inclusion of this figure in your collection, let's just say you're 2 vintage figures closer to completing the original set of 4 characters. Okay. Unfortunately, at the time of writing this, I'm unable to send super chats at the moment. That's all good. You don't have to apologize for that. And I'm not fishing for compliments here or trying to seek attention or anything, but I was genuinely upset and disappointed I couldn't donate during your veteran charity stream. It's all good. It's all good, Daniel. You don't need to apologize. On a more positive note, however, I'll say this. Yourself, Retroblasting, and Michael Mercy are the 3 main YouTubers that encouraged me to get into vintage toy collecting. Before I came across you guys, I was still a collector of some sorts. I've been a retro gamer for the past 5 years. Then about 2 or 3 years ago, I started to collect vintage toys, but it didn't really know what I was doing. I'll buy some figures from a certain toy line, but none of them were complete or anything. Or heck, they were probably in bad condition. But when I came across you 3 guys, almost about 2 years ago, mainly you, Tony, I then started to get into vintage toy collecting. You guys have shown me the benefit of toy collecting. My phone keeps buzzing. Especially during the whole pandemic last year and this year, for that matter, you guys have really helped me come through a lot of the tough times. I'm glad we were there for you, man. From what I watch out for, collector guides, toy histories, action figure playsets, reviews, to name but a few, you guys are just badass. Thanks. I like being referred to as badass. I honestly cannot remember any better 3 YouTubers out there for vintage toy content. Especially if someone asked me for vintage Motu Star Wars advice, and heck, even advice on obscure toy lines such as Rambo and the A-Team, I would say check out Analog Toys. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thanks so much for the entertainment and advice you have given me, and I hope to see much more of your vintage toy videos in the years ahead. Keep up the great work, mate. From your metalhead nerd fan of Northern Ireland, Daniel Dorian. Oh, and by the way, there are better Aussie lagers out there than Foster's. Absolutely, I don't drink Foster's. Oh, hang on, there's a bit more of that. Thanks so much for all the entertainment and advice you've given me, and I hope to see much more of your vintage toy videos in the years ahead. Keep up the great work. That got printed twice, I think. Thank you very much, Daniel. I really appreciate that. That's all good. Yeah, so I do think I know what this is now. So you drop hints about Iconicon, and what do we have in here? This is very well wrapped. And we have, it's like pass the parcel when you're a kid. Damn. Wow. We've got an intact Ghostbusters. Oops. Backpack and proton stream. Awesome. So obviously there's a figure in here to go with it. But which one is it? Yes, that was a well-packaged toy. That's right. Rylan, please tell me when you make He-Man 1989. Subscribe to the channel and it'll come up in your notifications, but it's going to be a while yet before I do He-Man or Masters of the Universe 1989. It's Winston and his ghost. Very cool. So the only vintage figure I have from this line is Peter Venkman. And the other figures that I've got are the Hasbro re-releases from last year, which are really, really good re-releases, by the way. And yes, I'm getting ready to make a Toy Histories episode on Kenner's Ghostbusters. So thank you very much, Daniel. This is here in time. I have not started filming yet. This toy will appear in that episode of Toy History. So thank you very much. Wolfie762, thank you for the super chat. I always got the feeling the Keaton's Batman was going for max intimidation, dual Browning 50 cals on the car, dual Vulcan cannons on the Batwing. Yeah, maximum firepower. And Dwayne C, thank you for the super chat as well. This is a Toy Polloi, Retroblasting, and of course, Analog Toys helped me get through a dark time. Thanks, Tony. I'm glad we were there, man. I'm glad we were there. It's funny, I was thinking the other day, in this modern era, where, just a random toy collector from Australia is able to, through the power of YouTube, connect with all these other collectors around the world. And, this is the kind of content I make. I make content that I feel like I would want to watch because I like watching Retroblasting and Toy Polloi and stuff like that. And I would much rather watch this kind of stuff than 99.9% of what's on TV these days. So, okay, we have a quite large box here from Michael Schaefer, who is a behind-the-scenes member of the Analog Toys team. Jesse, thank you very much. He says, Tony, I would send a Godzilla figure, but I'm afraid he'll get into a fight with your Action Force collection. He might, and Action Force would win. They would kill Godzilla easily. This box from Michael has taken a long time to get here, and I do have some idea of what's inside this. This isn't technically a mystery box, this one. But we have oh, nice. We have replacement stickers here for a vintage Star Wars Y-Wing. Man. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, Michael Schaefer. Thank you. A vintage Star Wars Y-Wing. That's incredible. So the front landing gear is a little bit loose. There may need to be a... And look, we got someone in the cockpit here. It's Spock. It's Amigo Spock, 3 3/4 inch. Thank you very much. Brendan Haley sent me a couple of these figures last week. I've got Spock to go with my McCoy, so that's awesome. Whoop. Stand up. Man, this is such an awesome toy. I can't wait to do a little bit of restoration on this. There's a few stickers need repairing. I'm looking forward to this. Ow. Yes, yes, Chris Mewer, Spock got it here safely. He piloted it, I think, from the States, I think via Japan, all the way to Western Australia. So we have the engines, the struts. So I think we're missing one strut and the bomb. I am going to hunt around on eBay for the parts, and I'm going to completely restore this toy, and I'm going to make a video out of it, and I'm going to dedicate that video to my dear friend Michael Schaefer, who, as I said, Michael Schaefer is an official member of the Analog Toys crew. He sits in the background and helps put the comments up on the screen during live streams and things. He's a moderator on the channel along with Timothy Ward, and he's going to be a massive help during Iconicon. So thank you very much for this, Michael Schaefer. Everyone knows that I've been dying to get my hands on a vintage Y-Wing for quite some time, and I am really looking forward to restoring this toy. Beautiful. Thank you very much, man. Okay, we have here, this one is from E. Reeves. I'm going to be very careful. This is some sort of paper product. I like that Mr. Spock figure. That's cool. And you know what? Even once this is restored and it goes in my collection, Michael, I might keep Mr. Spock as the pilot of this vehicle. Better to have him in there than a General Madine or something. Oh, whoa. Wow, what have we here? Man, we have a very old 1959 Mickey Mouse magazine. Let's have a look at this. Wow, 1959. That's incredible. Beautiful old Disney artwork in here. This can't be 1959. Maybe that's a copyright, because look, we've got adverts for Space Lego in here. That's awesome. Oh, this is from Evander. I remember Evander emailing me about this. There's lots of really cool old adverts in these. Big Jim. Very nice. Oh, wow. We have got some French adverts here for Group Action Joe, which is what Action Man was called in France. Man, I'm going to take some high quality scans of those and share them. We have here another vintage magazine. Looks like there's a letter inside here. Let's get to the letter. Keith Knight, Mickey Mouse magazine, otherwise known as the History of Tottenham Hotspur FC. These are really cool old. These are old French magazines from the 80s, I want to say. They've got some really cool toy adverts and stuff in here. Ah, wow. This has got Action Force in it. Oh, look at this. Look at that beautiful photograph there of the Red Shadows. That's awesome. And more. All the different teams. That's some beautiful photography. Evander, thank you very much. Was there? Yeah, there's no letter, but yeah, this was it. This is from Evander. Evander emailed me about this, or emailed me, or messaged me. I don't remember. And here we've got some Group Action Joe stickers. Look like they're from a Panini sticker book. Thank you very much, Evander. I really appreciate it. I love that photography in there of Action Force. Brendan Hayes said, I wanted a Y-Wing to restore. However, at 0430, I got myself the Palatoy X-Wing on eBay. Nice one. Yeah, I wonder, did you get it from Australia, Brendan? I wonder, because the one I recently purchased, the Palatoy one, the guy had a couple of them for sale. I'm sure he had 2 or 3 for sale. So maybe you got it from the same seller as me. If you did, you'll be happy, because it was it turned out, looked exactly like the photos and all that. So okay, we've got a parcel here from Carl Rudy. This one's from Carl Rudy. Thank you very much, Carl. Sometimes with some of these boxes, I never know how you're supposed to open them, you know. Ah, here we go, at the front here. Oh, wow. What have we got here? First of all, there's a postcard. The tape off without damaging it. A postcard of Nottingham, a very historic UK city. Tony, please find enclosed a small thank you for all the hard work you've done and continue to do for our community. Many thanks, Carl Rudy. And Carl, and thank you for your continued support, man. You've been on Patreon for quite some time. You're one of the really active members of the Patreon. So I really appreciate everything you do. You don't have to send gifts to the channel. Nobody has to send gifts to the channel. Just your interaction in these videos and in the chat is makes all the effort worthwhile. Oh, wow. It's Doctor Who. My first ever Doctor Who action figures. Man. Very nicely packaged, Carl. Good job on the packaging here. It's Tom Baker with a couple of members of the unit. And these are really nice action figures. So Terror of the Zygons, a 3-pack figure set. I love those unit soldiers, man. They're really, really nice looking figures. Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you very much. Once again, running out of room on the table. There's another set here. That's it. I'm on eBay. I'm getting a TARDIS now. I might have to have a chat with my friend Michael French regarding which would be the best version to pick up. Carl says, no worries, Tony. Absolute pleasure. I really appreciate it, Carl. This box, I don't know if it happened in shipping. It's a little bit squashed, but as you know, Carl, it doesn't matter. I'm a loose collector. These will be coming out. And here we've got Companions of the Fourth Doctor. Awesome. Sarah Jane Smith and Romana 1 and Romana 2. Very, very nice. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get myself a TARDIS to go with these now. Joseph says, Rennie is jealous of those Doctor Who figs. Oh, is Rennie a Doctor Who fan? Awesome. Rennie is Joseph's wife. Carl, thank you, man. I was talking to Michael French like a year ago, saying I wanted to get some Doctor Who stuff. What did he recommend? And then it just kind of, I don't know, I suppose I moved on and collected something else. But now I've got this. I'm going to have to get myself a TARDIS, probably get a couple more versions of Tom Baker. I have to get a Dalek and a K9, and then maybe I will do a Doctor Who video one day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. I wonder if Chris Mee was still awake, because I know it's really, really late over there. But we're now down to this enormous box. I'll show you what I mean by enormous. An enormous box from Chris Meewa from Chasing 80s Toys. And for those of you who aren't on Patreon, I watched a video on the Chasing 80s Toys channel the other day where Jeff Barker went toy hunting. Jeff Barker sold a Defiant toy to Scuba Pete, and they made a series of videos of him packing up the Defiant, of it being shipped, and basically followed the journey of this Defiant going from one collector to another. Awesome. Good to see you here, Chris. And it's really good to see some other members of the Patreon like in videos. What Chris is really doing, which is quite unique on his Chasing 80s Toys channel, is he's getting all these other patrons and supporters of Analog Toys and Retroblasting and all that to send him video files, and he's editing together these awesome videos. So if you're not on the Patreon, definitely check out the Chasing 80s Toys channel and look at the recent video where Jeff Barker goes toy hunting, and you get to see the man behind the name, so to speak, in that awesome video. This is a relatively heavy box, Chris. And one of the good things, I can tell from the customs form that Chris might have sent me some treats as well. Some treats that I enjoyed last time he sent me a box. See if I can get this open. Strudel waffles. Thank you, Chris. My family really enjoyed those last time. It's got a letter here, but this is to the Customs Department of Australia. It says, first of all, thanks for keeping our world a bit safer. This package contains an old childhood toy that is a gift. Please take care when checking the contents of the box. The toy is old and could get damaged if not handled with care. Thanks again for all the hard work, and have a good day. Thank you for writing that letter to Customs, Chris, but they didn't open this one. Australian Customs always puts a sticker on if they have opened a parcel during shipping. And now we have a letter from Chris. Says, Tony, early birthday gift, read first. Very early birthday gift. It's not for... Actually, it's 1 month away. My birthday is 1 month away. Pockman040, Tony, we are friends. We did this as kids to our best friends. Gifts are a token of friendship, and I promise we don't send these for any reason beyond we just... Thank you very much. I do appreciate that, but likewise, you know, that's why I send genuine Kylie autographs to Michael French, and at the moment, there's a parcel on its way to Bobby Valor, which I've asked Bobby for him to open that on the next Infinity Equation, once it arrives, that is. Joseph will be getting something very soon. The parcel I sent him arrived in the States last week. Hi, Tony. Hope all is well, mate. Some weeks ago, you got a cool gift box from Jody. It was the Thunderbirds Matchbox Space playset. I thought it would be a bit lonely being an empty playset. So what's in this box might go nice with it. Hope you like it. Cheers, your mate from the Netherlands, Chris Mee. Chris. You and Jody are in cahoots, aren't you? You really are in cahoots with each other. Oh, wow. Chris has sent me the Matchbox Thunderbirds Rescue Pack, which is all the die-cast vehicles, as you can see inside, that go with the Tracy Island playset that Jody sent me. Chris, do you know how many of these I've got sitting in my eBay watch list? I recently missed out on purchasing one of these sets here in Australia. I bid up to, I think I bid up to about $115, and I got outbid at the last minute. Oh, man. Thank you very, very much, Chris. I know this is, I wouldn't say this is an exceptionally rare set, but it is very sought after. I know they're not cheap. And I promise you, you and Jody will get the Thunderbirds video you're wanting. Because between this and the Tracy Island playset, I have everything I need to make an awesome Thunderbirds video. So sincerely, thank you very, very much, man. Oh, wow. Honestly, I've got about 5 of these in my watch list on eBay. Oh, man. What a morning. What an awesome morning. Yes, thank you, Chris. Says you're welcome. I really do appreciate it. To Michael Schaefer, to Evander, Daniel Dorian, Carl Rudy, Chris Miwa. Your generosity is absolutely overwhelming, guys. I've got to do a restoration video of the Y-Wing. At some point, I'll do a restoration of the Mauler that I got last week. There's a couple more bits I need for it. Got to do a video about Thunderbirds. Maybe this is the start of a Doctor Who video. I've always wanted to do a Doctor Who video on the channel. This is going to be part of an Iconicon video. I've got a lot on the slate. So, man, that was awesome. Okay, guys, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. I'm going to wrap things up here because I want to make a cup of tea and I want to head over. George, Scuba is sending them all apart. Oh, wow. I'm on eBay buying stuff. I didn't know. Okay. It's always one of the difficulties here. Like when I talk about not having items or wanting items, I'm not saying that because I want the audience to send stuff, and it actually it was in the letter from last week. I'll go back and reread the letter, George. You know, I ended up with a couple of prune faces and things like that. You know, I'm a collector. I buy stuff all the time. So, you know, I would feel terrible if someone sent something to the channel and I've, you know, between them sending it and then it arriving, I then go and do a video about this new toy that I've purchased or something, and I end up with 2 of them. But sincerely, guys, this community is incredible, particularly over there on Patreon. I received a message from Jeff Barker after last week's live stream. Jeff Barker also contributed to the Mauler. And Jeff, I didn't speak as often to as some of the other guys I've known a little bit longer. But he was saying that that Jeff and Chris and Scuba and a few other people have like a regular weekly Skype chat, and that's just amazing that you guys are doing that and connecting with these like-minded friends, friends that you know may not have had with similar interests since, you know, the schoolyard kind of thing. And that's just it's just tremendous to me that you guys are connecting through the channel and, you know, sitting down having weekly Skype chats and getting to know each other and becoming friends. It's absolutely awesome. So Timothy Ward Tony wants people to send $1 million. Email me and I'll send you his Iowa address. Oh, damn. Plockman040 says, well, you've got a great stock of biopods. We also know you're not asking for things, but it feels good to look, guys. I do understand it. I do understand it, and that is why I sent Michael French a genuine Kylie autograph, because he is a true friend of mine, and I was genuinely appreciative of his, not just him, collaborating with me on the Star Wars Follies, but allowing me to post it on his channel, but also coming up with the idea when kind of late last year I was actually having second thoughts about the future of the channel and stuff like that. But the amount of pleasure I get out of re-watching him opening that, it makes me understand why you guys kind of do this sort of stuff. Honestly, Michael opening that Kylie autograph, I don't know how many times. I re-watched that again like twice last night. And how he sucks all the air out of the room when he kind of opens it up and first sees what it is. So it's amazing. And then, seeing that I have brought my friends some joy, it brings me a lot of joy as well. So, all right, guys. Yes, I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm gonna go make a cup of tea, because at 8:30, I'm sure it's 8:30, or it may have just started. Bobby Valor over on the Valorverse YouTube channel is going to do some announcements of some product samples. He's going to show you some product samples. I want to go and watch that stream. So for the patrons, same time tomorrow night, so 6:30 p.m. Monday night, US Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a Patreon-only live stream. We'll all get together. We'll have a chat. I'll answer your questions. And Daniel Doris, and the look on your face is all I needed, Tony. Thank you. All right. Take care for now, guys. And I'll see you patrons tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right. And I'm just going to play a little outro about some funky little convention that's coming up. All right. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Iconicon is the first online event of its kind that brings together your favourite content creators around the globe from across YouTube and beyond for a 5-day convention celebrating 80s pop culture. Combining our crews, will be sharing live streams, interviews, podcasts and fully produced features covering 80s movies, music, toys, comics, cartoons, TV shows and much, much more. Hosted on YouTube from 7 to 11 July 2021. Iconicon's presenters include Retro Blasting, I Grew Up Star Wars, 2 Cents Toys, the Clobber in Times podcast, Midnight's Edge, Toy Polloi, Ed's Retro Geek Out and Analog Toys, to name but a few, with special guests including former Palitoy chief toy designer Bob Breakin and legendary comic book artist Tom Feister. For more information regarding the presenters, special guests and the content schedule, visit the official Iconicon website at www.iconicononline.com and save the date, because you won't want to miss this incredible event. Iconicon 2021. We're crossing the streams.